Hey, how's it going? This is my shop that I have where I sell my paintings and stuff, called Bliss Farm in Czech Republic. Anyway, today I wanted to talk to you about activating big areas of negative space in your paintings. And a lot of times, like if you're making a painting of, let's say, a cat eating a popsicle, you'll focus on the cat and the popsicle, first, thinking that these are like the two most important elements of the painting, obviously, because it's a cat and a popsicle. But you also have this big, you have this sidewalk and you have this grass in the background, and you kind of probably approach these parts of the painting as being like boring, because you don't get to paint fur or whatever. Maybe you like painting eyes or something. But you'll have these big areas, these big background areas, these big areas of negative space, and a lot of times people ignore these areas because they focus too much on the subject instead of these, not so interesting areas. So when you're making a painting, it's important to treat every section of the painting as equally important, basically, is the idea in this little tutorial. And I'm going to show you how to mix some colors that you'll be able to place next to each other really easily, and it'll give you kind of a vibrancy to your painting. In the intro image, you saw this Van Gogh close-up of one of his paintings, and you can really see all these different colors that make up just one brush stroke that he would have. But of course, this was common for a lot of the Impressionists. You can look at this image of Monet here, and you can see all these nice blues with all these pinks that give this kind of radiant and vibrant painterly quality to these big swaths of sky or lake or field or whatever you want. So let's get on to the second part here, and we'll get a close-up cam on the palette, and I'll show you just how I mix some colors that you can easily put down next to each other for backgrounds, for skies, for sidewalks, anything. And you can start playing around with that and incorporating it into your paintings. Cool. So basically remember how I talked about black before? I keep on breaking this rule, but basically forget about a lot what I said about black and buy some black. Set up your palette like this, by the way, from dark to light, right? Black, blue, red, yellow, white. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out where our neutral gray is. Because one thing you always say is that you want to make your grays look beautiful. And what that means is you can make one gray look really nice just by placing some other colors by it. So the first thing you're going to do is mix up a nice gray, and then we're going to just add a little bit of blue to it on one side. And here we have the blue variation. Now I'm going to clean my brush. It's not that big of a deal, but I just don't want to infect the other side too much with this blue. And we're just going to take a little bit of red, and we're going to mix up like a little purple. So now when these are good, when it's good to use these types of colors, is like I was saying, like if you're going to be painting a sidewalk or something like that, you can put these next to each other and they'll work out really nicely. So that's one variation. Let's take this in another variation, and we can make a green. Now this green is pretty intense, so we're going to take it down, add the complementary, and here we have this brown kind of color. We want to go for neutral colors first, then we add blue to one side, we get this kind of nice green, and we can add red to the other side, and get kind of a really muddy, I don't know, brown, I guess you could call it, like orange, dirty, super dirty orange with a little bit of white in it. So when we look at these four different colors, if we check them out in black and white, you can see that the first two and the second two are pretty close in value.
so you can put those down next to each other.
But when you lay them down next to each other, it's really going to give your painting a little bit more of a pop and make it a little bit more interesting work when you're dealing with these big areas. So that's something to start incorporating into your skies. Instead of mixing one blue, mix, 3 or 4 different variations of purple and just kind of plop these things next to each other and make your paintings sing a little bit more. So for more tutorials, and if you like these sort of things, check out paintingcourse.com, links in the description, and you can, go through the lessons that I have up so far. Thanks.